Did you know that the banks are willing to hand you up to $50,000 in funding without any proof of income? Whether you're starting a business, scaling a business, or you just need the funds to invest, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how a brand new business can secure up to six 0% business credit cards, combining anywhere from 50K all the way up to 200K in funding with the top three banks. These are the same top three banks that my clients have been able to use with a brand new LLC. They did not have to show any collateral, give them any proof of income, or show them any documents. And I'm not talking about net 30 accounts where you buy some tissue paper or toilet paper, hoping to get some funding for that, or any fuel cards or any store cards as well. I'm talking about real business credit cards, the ones where you could start your business or scale your business with them. You can also pull money out from them and invest into real estate or any type of cash flowing opportunities. So you might be wondering, Chess, how am I going to do this with no documentation? My business does not do any revenue. Well, let me explain. So as entrepreneurs, we're very optimistic. We want to compare how much are other companies doing per year. So say, for example, another company in the same industry is doing about $1 million per year. So would it make sense for you to say, on my first year of business, I hope to make at least 100K in business, right? So we could say that to the banks. Now, I'm not telling you to do any bank fraud. I'm telling you to be optimistic and realistic with your expectations of what your business is going to do. So other than that, the only way for you to get business funding is by personally guaranteeing it. And you have to have over a 700 FICO score as well. So I'm going to tell you exactly how we're going to do this in the next slide. Stay with me to the end, and I'll give you guys some sauce as well. Let's go. All right, gang. So let's start with the basics. What is 0% interest business funding? Usually, 0% interest business funding is in the form of business credit cards. You can find these at regional banks, national banks, credit unions, really any type of institution that offers business products. You just have to call them, ask them, see what's going on with them. Usually, this all can be done with no documentation, but it's not limited to bank statements, tax returns, profit loss statements, and balance sheets as well. So they might ask for some of those, but usually it's going to be no documentations at all. You have to know the correct data points to be able to not get any documentation flags. So you don't have to show any proof of income, like we said before, give any collateral, or give up any equity in your business. And here are some things that you will need to know. There are going to be requirements for you to get these 0% interest business credit cards. Everyone is not going to qualify for 250K in funding, and some people might, but try to start with the basics. Usually you might get you might get approved, for 50 all the way to 150K in funding. But, excuse me, but 250K is very possible. So what are the requirements? The requirements are you would need to have over a 700 credit just to get approved for the max amount. If you're under 700, I'm sorry. You have to start working on your credit, my man or lady. Lucky for you, I have a free school, or in my other YouTube videos where you could, try to find something and clean up your profile. Let's get you over 700. That's the goal of by the end of the year. So you can't have any negative items, you can't have any late payments, no collections, and the most importantly, you want to be under 30% in utilization. Something I forgot to add on here was comparable credit. You want to also have comparable credit because lenders will not give you anything if you're only at like $100. Why would they give you 100K? So they'll give you something comparable. They usually give 2 to 3 times of comparable credit. So first step, after everything is optimized, make sure you have your LLC filed. You could file your LLC for free on busy.com and also get a free EIN at irs.gov. I might have a video on my YouTube. Just check it out, and you can do this in under 5 minutes. The other thing is to make sure your business is structured properly. Make sure the name is vague and in a non-risky industry. Something like, marijuana, real estate, restaurants, those are going to be in risky industries, so you do not want that in your name of your business. So a common mistake that I see people do is they mark themselves as self-employed with a company. If you're self-employed with your own company, then it's highly likely that your company is not able to stand by itself yet, and that raises red flags. Banks would not like that, and they'll also ask you for documentation. They will want to see how much you as the self-employed by the company you're making. So try to avoid that, and we'll keep going. So We're going to go with my first bank, my favorite bank. This is going to be Chase Bank. I love Chase because they give you so much perks, so much points. You're able to travel for free. If you get two or three of the business credit cards, you're able to rack up at least 200K in points. And 200K in points, you're going to be able to travel business class, first class, and also book free hotels around the world already. You could go stay in like high end hotels like Grand Hyatt. You could go to, anywhere you want, maybe Japan, Taiwan, Asia, Europe, anywhere you want. So these are just some perks of using Chase. So how can we get approved for Chase? So rule of thumb, Chase pulls from Experian. They sometimes pull from TransUnion as well. And they do have a 524 rule where you're not able to get any type of personal credit cards or business credit cards if you have five within the last 24 months. But in some cases, you're able to bypass that if you're doing business credit cards. So they have another rule where you're able to get two in the last 30 days, I believe. So this means you could get two cards in 30 days. So if you are planning to do a credit stack, you could get two cards in 30 days, stack the points up, and you should be around at least 150,000 points, and you're able to travel the world for free too, along with getting some business funding. Usually I see anywhere from 20K all the way up to 75K in approvals with Chase. So the main things with Chase is you have to keep in mind they're a very relationship based bank. Like, for example, you wouldn't take a girl out and ask her to marry you on the first date, right? You take her on a couple of dates first, get to know her, then ask her out, go out with her for a couple, let's say months, maybe even years for some people, and then you ask her to marry you. That's the same thing with Chase. So it's a very relationship based bank. You will want to ideally have a personal account with them first and have some personal credit cards with them as well. That will build your relationship up. After that, you can open up a business checking account, deposit some cash in there, maybe like $100, then start to apply for the funding. So that's what I recommend for Chase. And here are some of the approvals that my clients were able to get. We have as high as a 50K recently for Leo, I believe. And we have another 50K here last week for Kang. All right, next we have American Express. So usually they pull Experian or TransUnion based on what state you're at. American Express, they're a very relationship based bank, same as Chase. If you do want to keep them, they will reward you hefty, heavily. So, American Express, I recommend having a personal relationship with them as well first. You don't have to create a bank account with them. You do want to have a personal credit card with them first. The one I like to start out with American Express first is the Blue Delta. I recommend that one. It's going to be the easiest one to get into their system. After you're in the system, all the other credit products they offer, whether it be their business products, the business lines of credit, or any of the other personal credit cards, is all going to be a soft pull. They'll take care of you very nicely and treat you like family. But American Express, they do have a 1 in 5 rule. This means you can only get approved for one card every 5 days. So keep in mind with that. And the last thing I love about American Express is they have two business credit cards. They're both going to be, two business credit cards with 0%. They're both going to be a pretty hefty limit. They'll give you at least 10K in limits, depending on if you already have a relationship with them. If you already have a business relationship or personal relationship, with them, they're likely to give you 10K or higher for your first approval. But if you don't have a personal relationship with them, they're usually going to approve you for only 2 to 5K in limits. So I recommend having a personal relationship with them first, then go ahead, start building some business relationship with them. And the thing I also love about American Express too is they give a 3 times credit limit increase. So after about 61 days, you could go ahead, go on the app, boop, 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 and ask them for a 3 times credit limit increase. Like right here, we went from a 10K limit all the way to a 30K limit for one of my clients. So it's something to keep in mind, guys. And our last bank is going to be the Bank of America. So this is going to be a very relationship bank as well. We do want to have a personal relationship with them, just like Chase, before going on and getting the business relationship with them. So same thing, you do want to have some deposits in there before applying for your business credit cards. Recommended to have at least $100 before applying. And the beauty about Bank of America is they give you 3 cards with just one inquiry. So you could go online, find the 3 cards that you want with them. I believe they have 0% for 9 months for 3 cards. And you could apply all of them at once. And boop, 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 boop. You'll get at least 30 to 50K in funding with them. And here's one of my clients. He got 32K in funding just with Bank of America, applying them back to back with just one inquiry. All right, so here's the sauce that you stayed here for. If all of this is helping you out, remember to give me a subscribe and a like. So the sauce is here. So if you were denied for any of the business credit cards or personal credit cards, you are able to do a reconsideration. So you find the number online or at the bank, call them up, let them know you applied for which card and you were denied for it. Can it be reconsidered? If they say no for here too, oh man, the next thing you could do is you could go into the branch, into the bank, and start asking them, hey, I get denied for this. Can you help me recon this? Usually the bankers are very helpful. They're going to help you do that, but it doesn't hurt to try, right? And the extra sauce I'm going to give you guys is going to be the credit limit increase trick. So anytime you get approved for any type of credit product, you're able to go on the back of the number of the card right before activating. Remember, this is right before activating. Go on the number on the back of the card, call up the number, and ask for a credit limit increase before activating the card. Usually, you could request about a 10% increase from what you got approved for. So that's the kind of sauce that we have today. So if you do want one-on-one help with this, we do offer it as a service. First, we'll help you remove your inquiries as needed. Then I'll teach you the credit augmentation framework to guarantee you maximize amount of funding. After that, we'll create data points for your applications at the banks. And we'll also introduce you to my high-level relationship bankers to get you approved. And in addition to everything, you also get personal credit monitoring for the whole entire process. So if that sounds like you, go into the link in my bio, click the link, fill out the form, and I'll teach you exactly how everything works. So this is CashflowChes, and I'll see you guys in the next one.